All right, hello there everyone. Making characters come alive. Now we all know this part of the writing craft is crucial. Every book you read on writing fiction, every class you attend talks about the importance of characters and making them dynamic and so on and so forth. But I want to focus in on a specific way of making characters come alive, because it's not just enough to create a character who seems lifelike. Fiction always has a purpose to it. And to get us focused on that, I like to start with one of my favorite sayings on writing, which is Hitchcock's axiom. He was once asked what makes a great story, and he said, a great story is life with the dull parts taken out. Now this is a great axiom to keep in mind for any aspect of your fiction. It applies to plot, it applies to dialogue, it applies to description, all of those things, and especially, of course, to characters. We do not want dull characters. And another thing is we don't want even interesting characters to be caught up in situations that don't have any significance or are not of great moment. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you combine those two things. Sometimes you'll hear people talk about plot versus character. Some people talk about plot-driven novels. Some people talk about character-driven novels. Or they might refer to these as commercial novels versus literary novels. There's a little bit of fuzziness in these terms, but you kind of know what side of the spectrum a novel fits on. For example, a James Patterson novel is going to be way over there on that plot side. A lot of stuff happening on the outside, a lot of action and so forth. And that's really sort of what plot-driven means when people use it, that there's external things happening to the character. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you have a literary novelist, a character-driven novelist. Let's say Catcher in the Rye. You have novels by, say, Anne Lamott. And in those instances, you have the interior life of the character being sort of prominent in the story. But if you can combine both of these elements and then use these skillfully as a novelist to create the kind of tone you want, then you're going to be cooking on all cylinders, and that's what you want to do. You want to have both of these aspects interacting so that they feed off each other and strengthen each other. So, thinking a little more deeply about this, plot without character bonding results in action without engagement. And character without plot is like overstaying a welcome. Now let me explain what I mean by that. I've read big action novels where there's a lot of pyrotechnics and chases and things blowing up and high-tech jets and so on, all of those things, but with characters that were rather cardboard, that were sort of out of a cliched central casting. And I don't really care what happens because I haven't truly bonded with the characters. We're going to talk about readers bonding with your characters. So I'm not engaged in that story. On the other hand, character without plot. Now I've read novels with quirky, eccentric, even colorful characters who sort of meander through a series of events, and that's not plot. And I get very tired of those characters after a while. I can think of some novels that right now where that happened to me, and I've tried to read some of those a couple of different times, but I can't get involved because there's no stakes involved here that matter to the character or to me. See, here plot is a record of how a character deals with threat or challenge, and the stakes, I say in my books on plotting, is that a plot needs to be about death. Now there are three kinds of death. There's physical death, of course. There's professional death, So a lawyer with a case, a cop with a case, an advertising man with a client, those are all things where the profession, the case that the person has in their profession is going to matter so much that if they lose, it's like a professional kind of death. They won't be the same. They won't be as good at their job. They may lose their job, whatever it is. And then psychological death is the other kind. That's where we say, you know, we died inside. And this applies to all kinds of writing, even comedy. In fact, maybe especially to comedy. It's a good illustration. Think about it. A comedy, the characters in a comedy think they're in a tragedy, but it's over something trivial. The Odd Couple is over how neat an apartment is going to be. Think about Seinfeld. Every Seinfeld episode is about something that these characters blow up out of all proportion. They have some scheme to make money, or George has a scheme to get out of work, or Jerry wants to get the soup from the soup Nazi, and he's willing to actually sacrifice a girlfriend in order to have that soup. These things are blown up so that the stakes are that high, almost like psychological death. So think about those things as we talk about character. And then, to those who say that I love character-driven, I love to read about characters, that's fine. But you have to go a little further than that when you write, because true character is revealed only in crisis. True character is revealed only in crisis. This is important, and crisis is what comes out of a plot where death is on the line. You know, we wear masks. We can wear masks when things are easy, when things are placid. Scarlett O'Hara, at the beginning of Gone with the Wind, she wears this mask of this flirty coquette. And she likes to do that. She likes to wear that mask because it works for her, and she can get men to do things for her and so on. But when the crises come, first of all, she learns that the man she wants to marry, Ashley, is going to marry someone else. And then, most especially when the Civil War breaks out, her true colors come out because she is tested. And, you know, we see the true Scarlett O'Hara. She has some admirable aspects and some not so admirable aspects, but they are revealed, you see, because of the crisis, and that's the point. So true character is revealed only in crisis. So that's why you want to think about plot and character going together. All right, let's talk about lead characters now, your lead characters, your protagonists.